Unsung Murder Ballads discusses topics of a disturbing nature.
And we're not going to hold back on the graphic details and disturbing content.
So we do not recommend our podcast for children under the age of 13.
And while we respect the victims and their families involved in these tragic cases,
we're also going to be critical of mistakes that are made during the investigations.
And we're going to use dark humor to express ourselves now and then.
So with that said, this podcast may not be for everyone.
And that's okay. We're glad you're here checking us out.
And if you've made it this far, welcome to the Unsung Murder Ballads family. And follow us on Instagram at Unsung Murder Ballads if you want to talk to us.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Unsung Murder Ballads. This is episode 145. I am Janus dead.
I'm Jameson dead.
And I'm Joyous dead.
And you know what? I think I got the number wrong again. I think it's 146. That's 2 weeks in a row.
You know what? Counting can be very hard sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, one after another. It's just,
it's like it never stops.
It's
just an endurance mode thing, you know?
Right? Do you remember, I'm sure you do remember, like, the Animaniacs cartoon back in the day? And Yakko sang a song. It was like every word in the English language. And it was like done in like 3 parts across the time of an episode. And then at the very end, he goes, so the announcer says, tune in next week when Yakko sings every number above 0. I was like, that's awesome. All right. With all that said, let's dive in. I'm going to hit you guys with the teaser for this week's episode.
All right, let's do it.
So in the 1980s and early 1990s, Wanda Holloway lived vicariously through her young daughter, Shanna. In particular, Holloway pushed her daughter, to achieve the cheerleading dreams that Wanda had been denied in her youth. Determined to see Shanna join the cheerleading team, Holloway spared no effort. However, when Shanna failed to make the team for 2 years in a row, losing to her peer Amber Heath, Holloway became enraged and desperate. She decided...
Oh, no. I don't like this as a start. Just starting, I don't like it.
Well, she decided to take decisive action. So in 1991, as the next year of cheerleading tryouts approached, Holloway approached her former brother-in-law, Terry Harper. She had an unusual request for Terry, which was to kill Amber's mother, Verna.
Jesus.
Now, she believed that Verna's death would leave Amber too distraught to continue cheerleading, which in turn would open up the spot for her daughter.
Come on.
You can't make some of this shit up.
And if you did, you wouldn't be believed.
Exactly. So this is the case known as the Pom Pom Mom.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
And everybody, welcome to number 5 of our murder ballad Fumbles.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm so glad she fucks this up.
That's why I didn't say anything when you earlier were like, I don't like where this is going. I almost laughed.
Yeah. Now I like where this is going.
Yeah, this is...
Well, actually, probably people were probably still harmed. So we don't love that part of it.
Right. But we do enjoy when we can take some levity and just make fun of stupid criminals. Exactly.
Yes, we do. Oh, I could use it today. This is perfect.
Well, I'm glad I chose this one. So, Wanda Webb Holloway was born in 1954 and was from Channelview, Texas. As previously stated, Holloway tried to live the life she always wanted through her daughter. Now, her daughter Shanna was in middle school and had tried out for cheerleading. Now, her friend, this friend Amber, she even drove to school with her every day. And Amber had made the cut where Shanna didn't. This fueled massive jealousy in Wanda Holloway. And when Shanna didn't make the team the second year, Wanda Holloway realized that her dream didn't seem like it was going to come true, and she decided to hire a hitman. Now,
oh my God.
Now, how does one go about contacting such a person, especially when they're a suburban mom from Texas? Like, who is she to
We have asked this question before.
Right. Yeah, who does she reach out to? Well, she decided that her ex-husband's brother was the way to go.
Well, that's something.
I I don't know enough about Terry Harper here to know why she thought he was the guy. But here we are. So Terry, once talking to her, he had other plans. And he called the police and reported that she had asked him to hire a hitman to kill Verna Heath. So he, working with police, he put on a wire. And Holloway was arrested the next day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's how dumb this woman was. When she was arrested, she asked if she could change her clothes. Because, she's about to be on the news, right? You got to look good for this, I guess.
Make sure you look good for when you're on the news. Yeah.
Right. Well, the arresting officer told her that they had clothes for her downtown, which is pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, like, oh, we got a striped outfit for you, miss.
Striped. I was thinking orange, but striped would be even funnier. I like that. The interesting thing was the key evidence in this case for the prosecution, which was headed by a guy named Mike Anderson, came down to the tapes provided by Terry Harper along with his testimony. Now, these tapes revealed the words of Holloway offering up her diamond earrings in exchange for never seeing Verna Heath in Channelview, Texas again.
Oh my God.
She had even given him the earrings, and they would later be used as evidence against her. Now, the recorded conversation, which is pretty dumb to begin with, as you can imagine, had an awesome moment where Terry tells her the price for the hit was $7,500. $5,000.
That's nothing.
Nothing. $5,000 for the girl and $2,500 for the mother. Because at this point, he's testing her out.
Now, is this a moral price? Fascinating.
It's
like, oh, it feels worse to kill a child, so I'll pay you more for it.
Yeah. Well, this is what he's telling her the price is from quote unquote said hitman. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm just curious on how a hitman would set their prices.
Right? I would assume a hitman would want a lot more than $7,500. Just saying.
I don't think
for sure.
I don't think there's a Kelly Blue Book for prices here.
I guarantee you somewhere on the web there is.
You're right. I would never be on that part of the web, but it must
Somebody
exist.
look that up. Somebody's dark enough to do it. I
don't want to be on a list.
Yeah, I may already be on enough lists. We're good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you've already Googled this.
I have not, but I could. Actually, at this point, my Google search history would look really bad anyway. I might as well,
You're right.
Yeah.
Can't get much worse. You can't be on the list twice.
Well, at least I can say I have a true crime podcast that helps as a little bit of smoke,
Oh, 100%. Except that now we're admitting to all of this.
Right. Which is okay, because that's also an alibi, right?
You're right.
So after hearing the prices, Wanda Holloway is on recording saying that for the $2,500 for the mother, she responds with, "The mother ain't worth crap, is she?" And then she laughs.
Jesus.
Right? Ridiculous.
Jesus.
That's incredibly dark.
It's pretty stupid on her part, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, really stupid. But she also didn't know she was being recorded, right? So.
All because her daughter didn't make a cheerleading team.
Can you believe this? A woman could have lost her life for this. It's so stupid. So Holloway's defense lawyer, Troy McKinney, argued that Wanda's ex-husband, Tony, had conspired with his brother to frame her and that she never intended to kill anybody. Yeah.
And saying they made up this recording.
Exactly. Well, and McKinley pointed out that the divorce between Tony Harper and Wanda Holloway in 1980 and the ensuing custody battle over the children was pretty bad. And in fact, Terry Harper's estranged wife, so the brother-in-law's ex-wife, she came forward and testified that he had beaten her to scare her out of revealing that he had said to her that he was going to get Wanda to say things.
Oh.
Okay. What?
Right. So it's a little weird here.
Yeah.
But she's either lying on the stand or there's some truth to it, or maybe it's something unrelated. But either way, the whole thing is weird.
Very weird.
But regardless of all that, Wanda Holloway was convicted of solicitation of capital murder in her 1991 trial, and she was sentenced to 15 years in prison, which is crazy because actual killers get 15 years in some cases.
Yeah, that's crazy.
However, the conviction was overturned when it was discovered that one of the jurors that sat on her trial was on probation for a drug-related felony and shouldn't have been allowed to serve on a jury.
Seems like an unrelated offense.
It seems
that seems like a very petty thing to do.
It seems very stupid. I agree. But here we are. So a mistrial was declared and she had to go on trial again, and she hired a new defense attorney named Jack Zimmerman. This time, however, Wanda Holloway pled no contest, and Zimmerman successfully negotiated a plea deal on her behalf. On September 9th, 1996, State District Court Judge George Godwin sentenced Holloway to 10 years in prison and a fine of $10,000. And on top of that, Holloway settled a civil suit filed by the Heath family, and on October 2nd, 1994, she agreed to pay $150,000 to the victims. So, not exactly 15 years, but still a lot for trying to hire someone, right?
Yeah.
However, Holloway was released on March 1st, 1997, after serving just 6 months of her sentence.
Classic.
Wow.
The judge ordered her to serve the remaining 9.5 years on probation and complete 1,000 hours of community service.
Wow.
So, doesn't sound all that bad for trying to hire someone to kill someone. Just saying.
It's really not.
And this is Texas. So her daughter Shanna took on a lot of the shame as events played out, and she blamed herself. She had actually said in interviews that she felt that maybe if she had been a better cheerleader, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh my God.
But she was
That's awful.
But she was like 13 or 14 when it all went down, so of course she's going to internalize
so messed up. This poor kid.
Right. Now, in 2024, Wanda's daughter Shanna did tell an interviewer that she believes that her mother had been told by Terry, presumably, that if she had tried to pull out of the murder for hire plan, that the killer would come after her. She believes that her mother was sort of coerced into this confession as well. So when you mix that with what Terry's ex-wife said, some of it is really fishy.
Yeah.
But in the end, it doesn't really matter because she only served 6 months in prison and she's been living her life ever since. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all very sketchy.
And as of the most recent report, Shanna says that she tries to maintain a good relationship with her mother, but that's all that we know about where Wanda Holloway ended up. I have no idea where she is today. Can't warn the public if I don't know where she is.
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't let your grandkid go up against her grandkid for any kind of sporting event.
Yeah, no kidding.
Fucking crazy. So, all right, so that's the first episode. That's our obligatory attempted murder episode. So nobody was actually hurt. So again, actually, now that I'm thinking, I'm going through the list. I don't think anyone gets hurt in any of the cases we're covering today.
Wow.
At least not
This is
like
awesome news.
At least not like through like that type of violence. I don't think. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting episode because some of the cases I have, these are very different crimes for us. Very different, which is cool. All right, now on to the next case. Sandra Marie Anderson was respected and recognized as one of the nation's best trainers and handlers of cadaver-sniffing dogs. Anderson and her dog Eagle had assisted on many cases, and getting their help was always welcome by authorities. Both her and her dog had searched the World Trade Center rubble. They found mass graves in Panama and Bosnia. Communities had erected plaques in their honor after they had pinpointed the location of lost cemeteries and Native American burial grounds around the country. As I said, they're coming in with quite the reputation.
Yeah.
In 2001, Anderson was brought to the Oscoda area of Michigan by the FBI and the Oscoda Township Police Department in hopes that she and her cadaver dog Eagle could find the remains of Sharita Thomas, a young black mother believed to have been murdered in 1980. 2 searches were conducted in 2001, and during each of these, law enforcement personnel found human bones and other potential evidence that Eagle had sniffed out. So authorities were quite excited. Everybody was singing praises of both Anderson and her dog. However, as winter kind of came in for the season that year, the FBI stopped their search, sifting through the dirt or whatever, and they turned around and decided to start testing these bones. Once they tested them, none of them matched the missing woman's DNA. So they were sitting there thinking, okay, what the fuck's going on? And it turned out that there were 3 different people's remains found at this site.
Oh.
What?
So they thought they had stumbled upon a serial killer's dumping ground. So when the spring came, they started resuming this search with huge anticipation. They were excited because now they're like, excited as in the way that they've stumbled upon other crimes. Now they can really dig in. And on April 17th, 2002, Anderson and Eagle were brought back in. By the end of that day, 3 of those that were involved in the search and, this mission had lost their enthusiasm for what was happening. Michigan State Police Crime Lab technicians Jenny Stites and John Lucy, along with police officer Mark David, were kind of troubled. Independently, each of them suspected that Anderson was planting the bones.
That's crazy.
Mark David spent one night, a sleepless night, turning it all over in his head, wondering what the hell might have happened, but he was hesitant to accuse Anderson without any kind of proof. He went back to work that next day, and he talked to the other forensic techs, and they said they had similar concerns. They basically said that they thought that as she knelt down to tuck in her pant leg into her boot, they thought they saw her grab something out of it. So, after they shared their suspicions with each other, they agreed that they wouldn't say anything, but they would keep an eye on her. So that afternoon, as Anderson knelt down by a small stream which had been thoroughly searched earlier that day, she began to insist that Eagle had alerted there. Her hand went from her boot, and as she moved it upward and began to gesture towards the stream, one of the techs, Jenny, quickly reached down and grabbed Anderson's closed hand. The 2 women began to struggle, and when Anderson's hand was finally opened, it contained bone fragments.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is just weird fucking behavior.
Really fucking odd. So, the 2 technicians and Officer Mark David revealed their suspicions to other investigators, and a search of Anderson's vehicle began, and they found an entire bag of bone fragments. That night, the FBI got a search warrant and executed a search of her home, turning up even more bones.
That's so weird.
It's so fucked up what people will do for perceived success.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
So this revelation shook the law enforcement community, and suddenly authorities had to wonder if everything Anderson and Eagle had done in the past were legit. They'd gotten around in the 10 years prior to this moment. So at least 2 people that were imprisoned were partially in there because of the results of Eagle's finds, which is fucking crazy. One guy actually got a new trial based on this revelation.
It's like a really fucked up thing to do.
Yeah, this is fucked. Like she put a lot of cases in jeopardy. Even if they were legit killers, they may be, you know what I mean? Like they may have not have been convicted if it wasn't for her quote unquote fines. So in the course of the FBI and the DOJ investigation, it was forensic evidence which proved to be her undoing. Tests were conducted on blood found on a saw, which Eagle had supposedly found in a basement of a murder suspect, and it turned out it was Anderson's own bodily fluid.
Oh, what?
Yeah. There were bloody coins at a crime scene in Ohio, also revealed to be Anderson's DNA. There was
Whoa.
there was a human toe that was found, that Eagle found at an Ohio creek, that turned out to be from a corpse that had been donated to her by the Louisiana Science Group as sort of like a training thing for her dog. She had literally
That's
God.
so fucked.
She literally cut the fucking toe off a cadaver. And there was fiber that were actually found at different locations that turned out to be from a carpet in her home. And on the day she was caught, she had some of those fibers in her pocket.
Huh.
Wow.
So fucked. So Judge Patrick Dugan told the 44-year-old Sandra Anderson that she will spend 21 months in prison, and she had to pay $14,500 in restitution to the law enforcement agencies that she had misled. Upon her,
Doesn't feel like enough.
21 months is almost 2 years. I mean, maybe she should
For all
be
this
charged.
obstruction of justice.
I was going to say, maybe she should be charged per case that she fucked up that had to go back to trial. I can kind of agree with you on. Yeah.
That would make way more sense.
Right,
Yeah.
like she should be paying damages, like
Right.
court fees.
Something. But 14 grand, 14 and a half grand and 21 months in prison. But she also, upon her release, she had to serve 3 years of probation. She also pled guilty to 2 counts of falsifying material facts and making false representations, 1 count of obstruction of justice, and 2 counts of making false statements and representations. So she's not getting hit with
What about
everything.
abusing a corpse that she took a toe off?
Is it abusing a corpse if it was a gift to you to train your dog with?
You know,
It's weird,
and that's
right?
why I'm not a lawyer.
It's weird, right? Because it technically is abusing a corpse, but this person donated their body to science, and it just happened to be selected for cadaver dog training. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually just had
Sure.
I just had this conversation with someone the other day about how I'm an organ donor, and I know there's a place within the FBI where they will bring out bodies, like cadavers, and lay them out so that they can decompose in nature, so that
Mhm.
so that these
You know what it's
forensics
called?
people, was it the body farm or something?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's called.
So if I end up there, that's cool too. That's the way I look at it.
That would be cool.
I actually would enjoy that, especially, here we are, true crime podcasters. That'd be awesome if that's what my body did afterwards. you know?
Yeah, I just hope it's useful. I am also an organ donor. I hope they do something good with it.
Right, exactly. You don't want to end up like doing, I mean, even if, again, it doesn't matter. Once I'm dead, I don't care. But it would be cooler
It's
to
true.
be useful. I agree. So during
Although I do hope to die old when my organs aren't going to be of much help to anyone. But if I die young, use them all.
Agreed. And you know what, regardless of when I die, the only thing I mean, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do anything like that. So I know most of my organs are healthy. I just know that as I'm a little overweight, maybe my kidney's not going to be so great, because I know the fat around the kidney could cause problems, but
But you got good lungs.
I
You
do
can
have
take
really
those.
good lungs and a really good heart, to be honest. But anyway, that's
Aw.
neither here nor there. I didn't mean it that way, but sure.
I know.
We'll take it that way. That's funny. So during her probation, Anderson was required to report any activity in which she took to look for missing persons or the remains of missing persons or historical remains, which I don't even think they should ever let her do ever again.
Yeah.
And she apologized for her actions, saying, quote, "I lost track of why I was offering my services," unquote.
I don't think
What?
she should ever be let do this again. People
Agreed.
get fired for so much less. This
Agreed.
is not like, you must have to be certified to do this, and she should have her certification removed.
Agreed. And as for Eagle, the Doberman German short-haired mix who was her unwitting accomplice, he has unfortunately passed away, but this was so long ago that if he was still alive, he'd be suffering now. So, anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get them for very long.
No, we don't. But that was, I love, when I first saw that case, I was like, oh my God, I have to use this in a fumble. It's not really what we do, but it's so fucking bizarre. How could you not? That.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, there's under no other circumstances would we cover that. And I'm so glad that we do these so that I could include them because that's crazy.
Certainly.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, on to our next idiot.
Let's go.
Anthony Hare was a police officer in San Diego, California. On August 15th, 2003, Hare had been one of several officers that assisted with the arrest of two individuals suspected of stealing a car. One of these individuals was taken into custody. This was a woman who had a bench warrant for her arrest. Basically means she didn't show up to court. The woman involved in this incident has remained unidentified, as you will soon learn why. Now, Hare was asked to take the woman to police headquarters and then on to Las Colinas Detention Center in Santee, California. As he's transferring the woman, the two began to have a conversation, which was recorded by his body camera.
Thank God for those body cameras.
The following exchange could be heard. Quote, the woman, quote, "Are you married?" Officer Hare, "Why are you asking that?" The woman, "You're not too bad. What's it gonna hurt me if I work the system? You know what I mean? That's the way I see shit." So the microphone of Hare's body camera picks up moanings from the back seat at this point.
Oh.
Okay. She then says to him, "Are you single?" Officer Hare says, "Yeah, but you're not." The woman says, "Well, I'm down to fuck right now." Officer Hare responds, "Don't say that right now. Don't say that right now because everything's being recorded right now." As they approach Las Colinas Detention Center, Hare asked the woman what she was doing in the back seat.
Oh, Lord.
That's when the police cruiser slowed down and Hare switched off his body camera.
I feel like they shouldn't be able to turn it off.
Agreed. But here we are. The
Here we are.
GPS tracking system inside the cruiser recorded that Hare's vehicle turned down a dark residential street only blocks away from Las Colinas Detention Center at around 1:43 a.m. and then the vehicle stopped. Roughly 20 minutes after the cruiser stopped, Hare made a call to a fellow officer asking if he had a master key to the patrol cars. The other officer noticed that Officer Hare sounded a little panicky and asked if he was okay.
Oh my God, he's trapped in the backseat.
Hare said yes and then asked the other officer if he had his patrol car key with him. Officer Hare then asked the other officer if he could meet him. The other officer asked why he needed him, and Hare said that he would tell him when he got there that he was really embarrassed. So after a short exchange, Hare finally told the officer that he was locked in the backseat of his squad car with the woman. Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Hilarious. So at about 2:40 a.m., so after being in there for over an hour, a supervisor arrived on the scene and opened the door, letting Hare out. San Diego officer Anthony Hare resigned a month after this because a probe was launched into this incident in August of 2023. During an investigation, Hare maintained that he was only checking on the woman and said the door accidentally shut on him.
Bull.
Oh, is that so?
Who gets fully into the backseat to check on someone? Maybe if the car seat was really hard to close on a baby, right? Nobody's getting fully in the backseat. Yeah.
There's no good reason.
He also claimed that he knocked his body camera off its clip while getting out of the vehicle. So another quote-unquote convenient lie that nobody bought. The woman was interviewed, and she insisted that nothing inappropriate had occurred, but come on, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently there were tests that were done on Hare's clothing and uniform, and traces of semen were found on his belt. So, we know.
How surprising.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, it remains unclear at this point if he was ever really brought up on charges. I couldn't find how this ended, but that's kind of how that would work. The police aren't going to really let us know unless it was like super, super high profile. So I'm assuming he did resign, so I'm assuming he's out of the police force, at least in that town. but what a fucking moron is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
yeah, that's-
wild.
Really stupid.
Really, really stupid. All right, our next bizarre idiot criminal.
Let's go.
I don't really know how to say this name. It's Calese, so I think it's Khaleesi. I want to say Khaleesi because it sounds like Game of Thrones, but
Like Calese if it's Italian. I
I
don't
love
know.
how we were both thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
well, his last name is Crowder, so it doesn't sound Italian. But Khaleesi Crowder, 38 of Glendale, California, was arrested. He was out on parole. He was a sex offender. Okay. So the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation records show that Crowder had previously served time for a number of crimes, including possession of a controlled substance, burglary, and robbery. Most recently, he was jailed in July of 2024 for attempted first-degree burglary. So not a very smart criminal.
Yep.
Though he was sentenced to 3 years, he received pre-sentencing credit for time served and engaged in credit-earning opportunities while incarcerated and was released on parole in June of 2025. So this is where we go on about our belief that this needs to change, that repeat offenders really shouldn't be let out. But yeah.
Yep.
But at least he's not
Yep.
a violent offender. Although he was a sex offender, but you'll see why in a moment.
Is this
Did
a
he
he
do
pissed in
something
public and
stupid?
got caught sex offender?
No, this is even weirder.
Did
Interesting.
he in public?
No, just wait. Crowder was arrested again in late July of 2025 when officers were sent to the Nordstrom rack of the 1600 block of North Victory Place after receiving reports of a suspicious individual roaming around the women's department of the store.
Oh, dear God.
They were told that he had sexually harassed a female customer. While in the women's section, Crowder was observed following a female customer, crouching near her, and engaging in lewd behavior by inappropriately sniffing her ass.
I'm sorry, what now?
Yep. He literally walked up behind her, crouched down to like pretend to reach for something, and just took a massive sniff of her ass as he passed her.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
god. That's some fucking weird ass behavior, sir.
Fucking bizarre, right? I mean, what the fuck? You can see the video
My
if you look it
lord.
up. It's fucking weird. He was arrested a short distance away from the store after police arrived. And the weird part is he has a history of this crime dating back to 2021 in Glendale and Burbank, California, including an incident that went viral after a woman posted a video of him doing this on TikTok.
Oh my god.
Now, when he got arrested around this time, the wife of NBA star and former Laker, Robert Horry, took to social media and said that he also allegedly stalked their daughter. And then, I'm assuming he got on parole or something again because he was arrested again in September of this year for lewd acts inside a Walgreens, which I can only imagine is probably the same fucking thing.
If not,
Sniffing ass in Walgreens.
Sounds like a horrible country song. So as of right now, we're awaiting his trial. Who knows if they'll actually post what happens in the news or whatever, but I'll try to keep everyone updated on the ass sniffer.
if they post that in the news, man, that's a slow news day.
The fact that I found it was impressive. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, and on to our final case of this Fumbles episode. This one is by far my favorite, which is why I saved it for last. This is a case where the guy is known as Lawnchair Larry. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on why. Take a guess.
He sits outside in his lawn chair with a shotgun.
Tries to kill somebody with his lawn chair.
No. All right. Let's just say I'll get like 5 lines in and you're going to know exactly. This is like a cartoon and this is amazing.
Oh, dear God.
So Larry Waters was born on April 19th, 1949. He had often dreamed of flying, but was unable to do so because he had bad eyesight, so he was never able to join the Air Force. He then, therefore, became a truck driver. But, you see, when Larry was 13, he wanted something. He wanted to do something. And that's when he first imagined using weather balloons to fly, after he saw them hanging from a ceiling in a military surplus store. So by 1982, he had decided that he was going to try out this idea of flying with balloons.
Oh my God, he's going to use his lawn chair.
Oh my goodness.
He intended to float over the Mojave Desert, and while floating, he would use a pellet gun to burst some of the balloons in order to descend safely. In mid-1982, Larry and his girlfriend Carol Van Dusen purchased 45 8-foot weather balloons from a military surplus store and a helium tank helium tanks plural, from a California Toy Time Balloons store.
You're gonna need a lot of helium.
Right?
I think Mythbusters did an episode on this.
Did they really? That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
They must have referenced this case too in that episode. They had to have.
I think they did. I was like, this sounds familiar.
They used forged requisition papers from his employer, a place called Film Fair Studios, claiming that the balloons were going to be used for a TV commercial. He also purchased his lawn chair from Sears for $109, which today would be $355, which is an expensive lawn chair. But for what he's doing,
Yeah, for real.
For what he's doing, he needs a good one.
Got Mad Cup holders. It's got a place for his gun.
Something.
Got a footrest.
So on July 2nd, 1982, Larry attached 42 of the balloons to his lawn chair, filled them with helium, put on a parachute, and strapped himself into the chair in the backyard of Carol's mother's home.
You know what? The parachute is a good idea, and I honestly was kind of expecting him to not do it. So,
right?
Props.
He loaded up his pellet gun, a CB radio, some sandwiches, 2 liters of Coca-Cola, a 6-pack of beer, and a camera. Now, this was just him kind of testing it out, because he's in his home. He's at his girlfriend's mother's home just outside Long Beach. And he wants to do this in the Mojave Desert, which is obviously safer than doing it over Los Angeles, right? I mean, duh. However, the cord that tied his chair to his Jeep broke prematurely, and Larry and his lawn chair began to rise into the air quite rapidly. It reached the height of roughly 1,600 feet.
That's terrifying.
And was spotted by 2 commercial airliners.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
He slowly drifted over Long Beach and crossed the primary approach corridor of the Long Beach airport.
Oh no, buddy.
So Larry made contact with a group called REACT, which is a citizens band radio monitoring organization, and this actually recorded the conversation.
Oh, wow.
REACT said, "What information do you wish me to tell the airport at this time as to your location and your difficulty?" Larry says,
"I'm going to die."
Larry says, "The difficulty is this is an unauthorized balloon launch, and I know I'm in federal airspace, and I'm sure my ground crew has alerted the proper authority, but just call them and tell them I'm okay." Hilarious.
Who? I don't think they're worried about you, buddy. They're worried about getting the plane that's going to hit you.
Exactly. So Larry, in his contraption, moved west and eventually began to drift towards the Pacific Ocean. After 45 minutes in the sky, Larry began shooting several balloons with his pellet gun, taking care to keep it balanced so that, he doesn't just go tumbling down. But that's when he accidentally dropped his pellet gun.
Oh, God.
You gotta tie everything to yourself, buddy.
And unfortunately, despite having a camera, he sadly didn't take any photos. Which, you're up there for 45 minutes and it doesn't occur to you to grab your camera?
He's freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, I get that. And I understand this is like 1982 before every one of us had a camera, and that would have been the first thing every one of us would have done. But
yeah, recorded a video.
right?
I posted it midair.
Exactly. Well, fortunately, Larry began to descend slowly, but the balloon's cables became caught in a power line in Long Beach. Now, the power line broke, causing a 20-minute electrical blackout, and Larry was unharmed miraculously.
What?
Whoa.
Completely unharmed, which blows my mind.
That's kind of crazy.
He was immediately arrested by waiting members of the Long Beach Police Department, and the regional safety inspector, Neil Savoy, was reported having said, quote, "We know he broke some part of the Federal Aviation Act, and as soon as we decide which part, some type of charge will be filed."
Oh my God.
I love it. We don't know exactly what law he broke, but we're going to get him.
We'll get him for something.
And then he said, if he had a pilot's license, we'd suspend that, but he doesn't.
Oh my dear God.
So fucking funny. So Larry was initially fined $4,000, which is roughly 13 grand today. And that was for violating the U.S. federal aviation regulations, including operating an aircraft within an airport traffic area without establishing and maintaining two-way communications with the control tower. So apparently, I mean, that's obviously an important aspect because they have to coordinate every fucking thing in the area. My friend's father used to be an aviation control guy, and he said that his day was basically long stretches of boredom with punctuated by moments of absolute fucking panic as you had to keep people from crashing into each other.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. So Larry appealed that fine, and his fine was reduced to only $1,500, which is roughly $4,900 today. And then a charge of operating a civil aircraft for which there is not currently in effect an airworthiness certificate was dropped from his charges because apparently it wasn't applicable to his class of aircraft.
That's hilarious. I love these technicalities.
It's so stupid. Like, what do you call a chair with balloons on it? It's not an aircraft.
Well, it's like a hot air balloon.
I suppose.
But it's not hot.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. Like, these are the things that create new laws, and I love it.
It's great.
So after he landed, Larry spoke to the press, and he said, "It was something I had to do. I had this dream for 28 years, and if I hadn't done it, I think I would have ended up in the funny farm." He also said, I know, right? He also said, "Since I was 13 years old, I've dreamed of going up in the clear blue sky in a weather balloon. And by the grace of God, I fulfilled my dream today, but I wouldn't do this again for anything." Yeah.
What was the year of this again?
1982.
You think it's inspired Up?
I think he might have. That's what I said. It was going to remind you of a cartoon. Exactly.
Yep. Okay, I see you.
I know everyone hates me for this next part, but I never saw that movie. I don't watch
your selection of movies that you watch is a selection.
Yeah, I just don't watch cutesy kids movies, and that's what that makes me think of. So yeah, I've never seen it, but who knows?
It's fair.
Someday maybe. But
it's a good movie.
That's
but
what
it is mostly a kids movie.
Yeah, and I've heard that, and I heard it tears you up at the very beginning because his wife dies and blah, whatever. It's just not my kind of thing. But maybe someday.
Yeah, I don't know if you would love it. I don't think so.
Yeah, someone might get me to watch it someday, maybe, but I doubt it. Anyway, so Lawnchair Larry was awarded the title of At-Risk Survivor in the 1993 Darwin Awards, which apparently I didn't think that was such a big thing, but okay.
That's wicked funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. 10 days after his flight, Larry appeared on the Late Night Show with David Letterman, which is kind of cool.
Oh my God, seriously?
Yep, and he was briefly in demand as a motivational speaker, and he quit his job as a truck driver. He was featured in a Timex print ad in the early 90s, but never made much money from his fame. The lawn chair he used in his flight was reportedly given to an admiring boy named Jerry Fleck, though Larry regretted it later because apparently the Smithsonian Institute asked him to donate it to its museum.
Oh.
However, 20 years later, Fleck sent an email to Mark Barry, a pilot who had documented Larry's story in a dedicated website, and he identified himself. That chair was still sitting in his garage, attached to some of the original tethers and water jugs that he had used as a ballast. So that chair was then placed on loan to the San Diego Air and Space Museum, where it was exhibited in 2014, and then it was later donated to the Smithsonian. Just fucking crazy.
That is fucking crazy.
So after that, Larry had trouble maintaining a job. He did kind of had his 15 minutes of fame, and he started working for different like forest services and what have you. And on October 6, 1993, at the age of 44, Larry died by suicide after shooting himself in the heart in the Angeles National Forest. So I guess somebody did die in this case, in this episode, but it certainly wasn't the way we normally do it.
Yes,
No.
that's for sure.
Yeah. And that is our Fumbles episode. Maybe not as like haha funny as some of our past ones, but certainly lighthearted enough.
Yeah, there's some interesting things in
That
there.
rejuvenated me.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad.
Does that mean next week you're going to destroy us with something upsetting?
Well,
Of course.
yeah, I know Jameson has an episode that he's got loaded in the chamber, and I got another one coming. So it's nothing like so crazy that it's going to be heartbreaking. It's not like the death of a baby or anything, but yeah, we're going to go back into some darker territory soon. So
Great.
yeah, so your break
Well,
is
I enjoyed
over.
this foray
excited.
into the lighthearted.
Yeah, I love doing these episodes. They're so much fun, and it gives us all some levity and some, just what we need to get through our day sometimes.
Truly.
So yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us. Once again, I am Janus Dead,
I'm Jameson dead.
And I'm Joyous Dead.
and we'll see you next week.
Bye.